We are Georgia and David. We recently quit our jobs to travel full-time with our 14-year-old Sheltie Poo. This video documents the Mexican side of our temporary residency process, including extending our temporary import permit for our vehicle, and maybe a stop at a winery.
Today we are finishing, or hopefully finishing, our temporary residency and obtaining the actual cards. We chose to use the I&M office in San Miguel de Allende because there is a lady here, Sonia Diaz, who processes a ton of these. And we just felt more comfortable paying an expert to guide us through the process. We probably could have done it on our own. There's a lot of guides on how to do it online.
We just didn't want the stress.
No, I don't think there's a need for the extra stress. We might renew on our own, but at this point, any help we can get, we consider to be very valuable.
So we're currently at the I&M office still. It is 8:20 in the morning. We were supposed to meet Sonia here at 8:15. We were both a little bit early. We gave her our passports and 17,600 pesos.
As well as our FMMs, so she could make copies.
And she is currently going to the bank to pay the fees for our temporary residency, and they give her some sort of receipt and they give it to I&M. And she also gave us a couple packets with all of our information that we have to take into I&M with us. I thought she was going to come in with us, but apparently we go in on our own. And she monitors everything via I&M website. And then she's also in contact with the I&M officers via WhatsApp if anything goes wrong. So
everything's going smoothly thus far. We had the first appointment of the day. The office opens at 9 a.m. and she made her appointment for 9 a.m. So we're just sitting waiting for her to get back with the receipt, and then we'll proceed to our appointment.
1 hour later.
Success! We have our temporary residency cards. The process was super simple. Sonia made everything really, really easy. We didn't really have to do much of anything.
Basically wait.
Yeah, we waited, and then they called us back, took our fingerprints, took our pictures, and had us sign a few things and verify some information, and then we got our cards. It is 10:10, and our appointment was at 9. So it was very fast. Everybody was super pleasant, very nice. I would really recommend getting a facilitator. It costs a little bit of money, but not having any stress today and just having the cards by 10:10 in the morning.
And I saw another guy in there. He was struggling with one of the ladies. So and he obviously didn't have anybody helping him. So
it's a lot of paperwork to organize, and then you have to go to the bank. You have to pay a fee. You make sure you pay the right fee. You get this receipt. You bring it back. There's just a lot to it. So I think Sonia was absolutely worth the fee. I would recommend using her or someone similar if you're doing it as well.
We'll leave her information in the description below.
All right, we are in the car on our way to Aduana in Querétaro. When we crossed the border, we got a temporary import permit for our vehicle. And that temporary import permit was connected to our Conhe FMMs, which were only good for 30 days. We crossed the border on the 15th of last month, and today is the 12th. So now that we have our temporary residency cards in hand, we have to go to Aduana to extend the tip to match the expiration date of our temporary residency cards. And the temporary residency cards are good for a year from the date that you entered Mexico, not the date that they were issued. So that's another important thing to note. The Aduana in Querétaro is the closest one to San Miguel de Allende, and it is about an hour and a half drive. We do have Meep with us because from our last trip to Tequisquiapan, we know that there is a dog-friendly winery that is very close to the airport. So hopefully we will go there to celebrate successfully extending our tip and not to drown our sorrows in wine.
If you're headed west on Carretera 200, you will want the second airport entrance. Apparently there's no sign indicating the Aduana from that direction. Luckily, we were headed east, and there was a sign. After turning in, follow the road around to the right, past the buildings on your left. At the end, there is a parking lot. Push the button to get a card, and keep it on you unless you want some extra exercise. All right, so we're at the Querétaro Airport at the Aduana station, where we can extend our tip. Sonia was really, really good about sending us an email. It gave us like specific instructions, all we needed. So we need our original and a copy of our passport, original and copy of the title for the car. If you're Canadian, you need the registration. And then we need the car permit page from the Banjercito, which we got when we crossed the border. We also need the receipt from that transaction.
Yeah, from where you actually paid, like the deposit as well as the fee for the temporary import permit.
And that's all you need, and hopefully this works out well.
Yeah, so Meep and I are going to wait in the car, and David should be able to do this on his own because the tip is just in his name, even though the title's in both of our names.
Park your car and walk back out the way you came in. Once you pass the first building, turn right and walk straight back. You will come upon a guard shack with turnstiles and a person in a military uniform behind the counter. This is where you want to be. The guard I met didn't speak any English, but a simple "Buenas tardes, necesito Aduana, por favor," was all I needed to say. He made a call, and a few minutes later, a lady in an SAT uniform met me at the counter. All right, so I just got out of the Aduana station. The lady that came out and talked to me was really nice. She spoke a little bit of English, but thankfully I speak a little bit of Spanish, so we kind of worked everything out. The whole thing took about 25 minutes. In addition to copies of your temporary residency card, your passport, also get a copy of your Banjercito paperwork. She also needed that. She was really nice and made a copy for me. She didn't have to do that. So everything worked out. It took about, like I said, about 25 minutes to get through, and now we're good for a year. Hopefully you took that parking card with you. When you leave the guardhouse, walk up to the big buildings and you'll see an outside hallway going down the building to your left. Walk down it, and about halfway down will be a machine where you can pay for parking. It cost me about 20 pesos, but the machine was only accepting coins. Luckily for me, the guy who stopped me to let me know where to pay for parking also had some change.
We are at Tierra de Alonso, which is also Quesos Vai. It's very close to the airport, so we stopped by. We came here last year when we stayed in Tequis, and it is a location that is dog-friendly. The wine is pretty good, but the cheeses are really excellent. The restaurant is super cute. Service is excellent. And there are grounds you can walk around where there are rabbits and there are chickens. So it's a really cute property. As you can see here, we ordered the cheese and meat plate, and we've got ourselves a bottle of wine. So, provecho.